Hello friends, you're welcome to Football 360 GH. It's always a pleasure when I come to you with a new video. So on today's preview, we'll be talking about the Uefa Champions League. I mean, the biggest stage in European football. European intercontinental football before you people chip in the UEFA Euro League and all that. Teams, the best teams in Europe have been paired up against one another, and today we have about 5 matches that will be glued to our TV to watch. Before we even go into the preview of today's UCL matches, I'll urge and implore you to like, share, subscribe to become a part of the family, and then we keep the Football 360 train going on. So today, 3 times second fiddlers in English football, Arsenal. 3 times have they been unlucky in their quest to win the next Premier League title since the 2004 triumph. 3 times have they placed second. 3 times have they come up as runners up. Today, Arsenal Football Club will be traveling to Spain to go meet Athletic Club de Bilbao at the Estadio de San Mamés. Now, lots of topical issues have come up in that game because over the weekend, when Arsenal played against Nottingham Forest, notable absentees that we knew before that game. We knew of that of Ben White, we knew of that of Bukayo Saka, but then William Saliba had gotten a knock, had been stretched off in the last game before the international break. And so many pundits thought that he was halfway through the recovery session and was going to be a part of the Arsenal team. Not only was he not part of the team, but then William Saliba went blank the weekend. We don't know what the situation looks like for Arsenal stalwart defender William Saliba, but today at the Estadio de San Mamés, Mikel Arteta and his man must go pick valuable 3 points to keep their UEFA Champions League season going. Mind you, if Arsenal are able to beat Athletic Club tonight, they'll become the first club in UEFA Europa Cup, UEFA Champions League, and any UEFA Intercontinental Cup match to have beaten a Spanish opposition on the trot 6 times. There has been no team that has beaten a Spanish opponent 6 consecutive times. Arsenal has done 5 times, having beaten Real Madrid 2-1, 3-0, Girona 2-1, Sevilla 2-1, 2-0. So they've done it on 5 times. And today, if they're able to beat Athletic Club at Estadio de San Mamés, they'll become just the only club in UEFA competition to have beaten a Spanish opponent 6 times consecutively. Now, Arsenal have won 3 out of the 4 Premier League matches this season. The only loss that they had was that thunderbolt strike from Dominic Szoboszlai when they met Liverpool. So they have 9 out of possible 12 points, and they are not doing so bad at all. Now, the last time Arsenal were in the Champions League was just last season. In fact, in their last 14 Champions League matches under Mikel Arteta, Arsenal have won 10, drawn twice, and lost just 2. Both losses came last year. They lost to Paris Saint-Germain, who went on to win. They lost to Inter Milan, who were eventual finalists. And so their only 2 defeats that they've gotten in their last 14 outings were against eventual finalists and eventual winner Paris Saint-Germain. I'm trying to let you know the caliber of players and the caliber of team that Mikel Arteta has paraded at the Emirates, and then what they can do on a good day, the quality that they have, and how prowess they are in front of attack. We know Saka is not going to be a part of the team, but then from glimpses that Madueke showed over the weekend, that had the entire stadium roar up his name, giving a standing ovation when he was substituted. He will be trusted to go in and do the work that they would have wanted their star boy Bukayo Saka to do for them. In their last 24 matches under Mikel Arteta in the Champions League, Arsenal have conceded just 18 goals. So they have that solidity, they have that compactness, they have that that compact defense that can withstand any attack at all. And so, having considered just 18 times in the last 24 matches in the Champions League against in the last 24 Champions League matches, Mikel Arteta's men are strong, and then they are capable of usurping any opponent that they come up against. Athletic Club Bilbao on the other side haven't done so bad at all. Since the return of Ernesto Valverde from Barcelona in 2022, they've won 6 out of their last 7 UCL matches, out of their last 7 European Cup matches. Their only defeat was against Manchester United, who weren't that convincing. And so if you're beaten by Manchester United, who weren't that convincing, you're coming up against a firepower Arsenal side, maybe you would have to fear. But then they can trust on their marksmen. Inaki Williams is there, Nico Williams, and all the experienced men that they have in their team. I'm tipping Arsenal to go do themselves a win and get themselves their first win of the season. Not least now they have a fox in the box. They have a 9. They have a front presence, and that Victor Gyökeres has given them that edge, that attacking edge and attacking prowess. Already he's hit the ground running in the English Premier League. Last year in the UEFA Champions League, Victor Gyökeres scored 7 goals, assisted 1 in 8 matches, and so he had 8 goals and assists in 8 UCL matches. We expect him to bring that same form that he had in Sporting Club de Portugal into Arsenal. At least he's shown that in the Premier League, and that we're expecting him to replicate that form in the UEFA Champions League. If Arsenal get everything good on their day and Victor Gyökeres comes to the party, Noni Madueke being supported by Eberichi Eze and all the men in the midfield, I tip Arsenal to go there and win by 2-0. So Arsenal 2, Athletic Club de Bilbao 0. So that Arsenal becomes just the first side to have beaten Spanish opponents 6 consecutive times. Another North London club is in play today, Tottenham Hotspur. The last time Tottenham were in the Champions League was far back in 2022-2023 under Antonio Conte. Now, kind courtesy, the second-year miracle and magic of Ange Postecoglou, they were able to beat Manchester United last year in the UEFA Cup final, and that warranted them a slot in this year's Champions League. Tottenham Hotspurs have kick-started their season so well under new manager Thomas Frank, having won 3 out of their last 4 matches, and so they have 9 points in the English Premier League. Opta is favoring a 50% signature move for Tottenham Hotspurs, giving Villarreal 23% and Tottenham 50% after simulating the match 10,000 times. What I'm trying to say is that the supercomputer has simulated the Tottenham versus Villarreal game for 10,000 times, and 50 times Tottenham won. And so Opta is predicting a Tottenham Hotspur victory. Again, Villarreal is here to win against an English opponent in their last 14 meetings, 14 matches. Villarreal haven't won against an English opponent. They've drawn 6 times and lost 8 times. In fact, in their last 7 meetings against an English opposition, Villarreal are yet to pick a win. And so it's very difficult for Villarreal to beat a team and a club from England. Unfortunately for them, they will be starting their season against an English opponent who hasn't been so bad. I mean, who has been up there in terms of performances in the English Premier League in the shape of Thomas Frank's Tottenham, and then they'll have to go deep into their box and bet to get a win tonight. Not only is Villarreal the team that have bad record against English opponents, Tottenham also have bad record against Spanish opposition. So Tottenham Hotspurs also in their last 13 games against Spanish side in the UEFA, either in the European Cup or the UEFA Champions League, they have drawn 5 times, they've lost 7 times and won just once. And so there is not so much of a difference between that Villarreal bad record and Tottenham's Villarreal's terrible record and Tottenham's bad record. Both are on the same edge and on the same angle in terms of their performance against Spanish opposition and English opposition respectively. And so it's going to be down to the tactics from the bench, the quality of players on the field of play, and the instructions that will flow from the bench onto the park that's going to do the magic. But then at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I don't see Villarreal going to do any harm. I don't see Villarreal going to pick any points. I see a Tottenham Hotspur's win, maybe a 3-1 victory Tottenham Hotspur's, then they will be able to go for it. Mind you, this is going to be Thomas Frank's first UEFA Champions League game, first of its kind. The only appearance he's had in Europe was when he was managing his home side, Brøndby IF, in the 2018-2019 UEFA Europa League. He played 10 matches, he won 3, and so he doesn't have a good record in Europe. Same as Tottenham having a bad record against Spanish opposition side. But then I think they are going to be first time lucky today, and they are going to beat Villarreal at the Tottenham Hotspur Tottenham Sports Stadium. Last match to preview is Real Madrid against Marseille. Now, two teams with two youthful coaches that are trying to experiment some interesting models and interesting formations in modern football. So Marcel is coming with Roberto De Zerbi, whilst Real Madrid comes with Xabi Alonso. Now, many of us expected Xabi Alonso to hit the ground from a purple patch, rocky buildings and rocky grasses, but then he's gotten it so smooth and he's gotten it on a silver platter. At least maybe he was able to take the team through his training regimentals in the preseason. That's why they've been able to pick up the pieces and pots, and now they've been in sensational forms in La Liga, because 4 matches, they've won all 4 games. They are topping La Liga, and Kylian Mbappe looks unstoppable. And so a youthful Xabi Alonso against another youthful Roberto De Zerbi. Unfortunately for De Zerbi, after 4 matches in the French Le Championnat, he has won 2 and lost 2. Not so much of a convincing campaign that is sad, because he has 6 out of 12 points. Real Madrid has 12 out of 12. Kylian Mbappe has 5 goals and assists in the last 4 games. He is a man in form. He is red hot. He is a man on fire. And the least chance you give to Kylian Mbappe, you will find the back of the net. The last 4 matches that Real Madrid have played with Marcel, they've won all 4. In fact, they have scored more than 2 goals in all 4 games. And then the last time that they met on Marcel was 2009-2010, when Real Madrid beat them in both legs 3-1, 2-0. And so a Real Madrid-Marcel game always tilt towards a Real Madrid win. Nothing is going to change tonight, at least with an unconvincing and then unmotivated Marcel side. I don't see the way that they are going to they are going to the Bernabeu to go cause any upsets. I'm tipping a Real Madrid victory. I'm tipping Kylian Mbappe to score. Maybe a 3-1 Real Madrid win. Mind you, Real Madrid are still without key players. Antonio Rudiger is injured. Kylian Mbappe is present. Jude Bellingham has started his recovery from that shoulder injury and then shoulder surgery. He's not going to feature in today's game. At least he's not going to feature in the next 2 weeks. And so we are not going to see him against Marcel. Maybe in Madrid's next game, he will be featured. But then Real Madrid have enough firepower, enough quality, both in their starting 11 and on the bench, to account for any question that Roberto De Zerbi's Marcel will throw at them tonight. And so a 3-1 Real Madrid win will do it for them, and then they will go on to pick all 3 points and kickstart their UCL campaign in hopes of winning Apollo 16, hopefully. And so this has been our preview for tonight's UCL matches. Some of the games will also feature Juventus and Borussia Dortmund. It wasn't captured in this bulletin, but then an Arsenal win to set a record, a Tottenham Hotspur win, a Real Madrid win. I think most of the guys have always been wanting me to add betting codes. I can't be working betting codes here, but then I'll attach some portions of it in the overlay for you to look at it, so that today when you enter the big house, you know where to put your eggs. But then Real Madrid win against Marcel, Arsenal win against Bilbao, Tottenham against Villarreal. Thanks for tuning in and for watching and for doing that listening. Don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe, to become a part of the Football 360GH family. Thanks for doing this with me. Bye-bye.